Today, as investigators look for clues to why Andreas Lubitz deliberately flew a jetliner into a mountain, they found something else, a note that could have prevented it. And at the crashing in the French Alps, crews continue the difficult task of recovering remains of the 150 who died. We have a series of reports. First, Alan Pizzi in the co-pilot's hometown.
Investigators searching the apartment and family home of Andreas Lubitz turned up several doctor's notes, including one excusing him from work on the day of the crash.
Now to the search for the remains of those victims. Elizabeth Palmer is on the scene.
French police mountaineers helped forensic specialists comb the crash site today. They've now gathered hundreds of body parts for identification, marked on the slope with red flags.
Late today, Italy's highest court overturned the murder convictions of American Amanda Knox and her ex-boyfriend. The two were accused of killing a fellow student in 2007. Convicted once, they were acquitted on appeal, then convicted a second time. Today's action closes the case for good. Knox, now 27, is back home in Washington state. 2 people are missing following a gas explosion in New York City yesterday. 24 hours later, the ruins were still smoldering. 4 buildings were damaged or destroyed. Nearly 24 people were hurt. Officials say the explosion may have been caused by a worker improperly tapping the gas line. There is a growing backlash against a law signed yesterday by the governor of Indiana. Supporters of the law say it protects religious freedom, while the opponents say it legalizes discrimination. Here's Adriana Diaz.
This is really about limiting the authority of the government to intrude upon the religious freedom of every Hoosier of every faith.
Governor Mike Pence signed the Religious Freedom Bill that protects individuals and businesses from government interference when following their religious beliefs.
Adriana Diaz reporting. Senate Democratic leader Harry Reid announced today he will not run for a 6th term. Reid is 75 and still recovering from injuries after he fell while exercising. He lost the majority leadership position when the Republicans took back the Senate. Chuck Schumer of New York is likely to succeed Reid as Democratic leader. Overseas, Yemen is becoming the main front in a battle between the 2 main factions of Islam. Today, forces led by the Sunni Kingdom of Saudi Arabia accelerated their attack on Shiite rebels who are backed by Iran. More now from David Martin.
Arab warplanes dropped hundreds of bombs on rebel targets in Yemen in an air campaign that dwarfs the bombing of ISIS in Iraq and Syria.
David Martin reporting. While the U.S. is backing Sunni Arabs in Yemen, in Iraq it's fighting on the same side as Shiite militias who've been helping the Iraqi army, which is trying to kick ISIS out of Tikrit. Holly Williams is following this.
US-led airstrikes targeted ISIS fighting positions around Tikrit, which was captured by the extremists in June. The strikes were requested by Iraq's government, after Iraqi leaders earlier said they didn't need US help to win back the city. Instead, Iraq turned to military advisors from Iran to help its fighting force of more than 20,000 men.
Scientists tap into an ancient scourge for a new cancer treatment. And an astronaut begins a historic journey when the CBS Evening News continues. And that's the CBS Evening News for tonight. Until next time, I'm Evan Smith. Good night.